Hello, listener. I'm Kate Henson, your in-house passionate political change maker.
And I'm Wendy Peipenberg, a lifetime psychic medium.
And we are friends.
And we are the Living with Purpose podcast.
Welcome.
And enjoy today's episode. Welcome to our Living with Purpose podcast. I'm Wendy.
And I'm Kate.
And today we are going to talk about how taking a break, taking even a great escape to recharge can be very purposeful. Today, I'm going to start out with a letter that we received from a listener.
This is exciting.
It is. We really appreciate your feedback. We appreciate all the good vibes. We appreciate the emails that we're getting and the calls and the texts. So thanks so much for listening. Someone named Amy wrote to us, and she wrote, I love what you and Kate are doing with the podcast. I really appreciate the way you combine practical real life examples with spiritual messages, especially coming from two friends in conversation. You feel grounded, relatable, very real. She goes on to say, listening to your podcast today felt really validating. While there were several moments I felt pure joy while working, there are days when I'm completely overwhelmed. And she goes on to say, but even when I slow down, I tend to feel guilty for it. Only recently have I begun to truly give myself permission to breathe. It was validating to hear that same message in your podcast. I'm glad you put this podcast out because I will need reminders. Thank you for what you're putting out into the world. It truly mattered to me today. Is that the best?
Oh my God. Yeah.
I know. Really sweet. The letter is very in-depth, but I just wanted to thank Amy for writing in and sharing those thoughts with us, because that's our whole point of doing this, is that it's entertaining and helpful.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever felt more seen. Just the first paragraph of that letter, that was the intent behind this podcast.
Yes.
So to know that it's coming through on the other end of this microphone is just unbelievable.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate you listening. So, lovely Kate, what did you do this week or recently to recharge, escape?
I literally escaped. I went away for a weekend. Women are notorious for like, oh, we should get together. We should do this. Let's make a plan, do that. But it never comes to fruition. So for several years, my cousin has been threatening that she's going to do this weekend away. And she finally did it. Right off the bat, I want to go. I know it's important for me to have this time away and be with other women and commune and just not have the responsibilities of everyday life. But immediately I was like, man, oh, it's that weekend. The kids have this stuff. And then, oh, I'm going to have to come back. And then it's going to be this work thing. And finally, I just kind of had to proverbially, you know what I'm trying to say? Pat myself across the face and be like, woman, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Just go.
Yeah.
Also, it was new people.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to make yourself kind of just show up and get out of the work, sleep thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I happened to do, I think, my tarot, and before I even knew that this was happening, and it was something about creating new relationships and being in a space with new people. And so initially she set it out and she's like, oh, I'm going to do this thing. And I was like, oh, I don't know any of those people. Am I going to be able to relax and have a good time? Then I was like, wait a minute. I think this is the universe. If it's going to be any new people, I want it to be her people, because she is going to bring good people into my world. And it was lovely.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
It made it easier to go and show up. And that's such a big part of it sometimes, do you know? I mean, I met my first husband. I'm on, no, just kidding. My only husband at we both met at a party that neither of us wanted to go to.
Oh,
I was
that's funny.
dressed in I was very young, so I was working at a restaurant and basically smelled like the restaurant. And it was just like we both showed up, and we're so glad that we met there.
Yeah.
But now it was a place that neither of us really wanted to go. And I'm sure listeners have that same. How many times did you just feel like, oh, I really don't want to go someplace? And then you're so glad that you did.
Yeah.
Because magic happens when you just show up and you have some downtime and you've created that.
Absolutely.
For yourself.
The one thing I loved, one of the many things I loved about Amy's letter was she talked about needing permission. And a lot of times we are waiting for permission to take these breaks.
Yes, yes.
One, you don't really need permission, but if you still feel like you need permission, you have permission. We are giving you permission to do this because it's the only way to move forward.
Yeah. And it's so important to balance the masculine energy is when we're in our work and we're striving and we're trying and we're leaning in. And we're really talking about balancing our lives out with that feminine energy. It's like the yin yang, balancing our lives out with the feminine, which is leaning back. And it's more about receiving. You show up
Yes.
and you kind of see what's there. You lean into things that are fun, not work, things that really bring you joy. At your best, your work will bring you joy. We talk a lot about purpose being something it's that you love to do, and our purposes, different ones. But it's really about, yeah, just showing up and really just letting yourself have a good time. So I was using the word escape, and it's kind of funny because for me, last Friday night, I went out to see a Journey cover band called Escape. The guy really sounds like Super. I mean, if you're gonna have a Journey cover band, you've got to be the best, right?
Oh,
Like you've got to be a pretty
absolutely.
amazing singer to compete with Stu
Yeah.
Perry. But it was so much fun, and it was just the entire audience, not far from South Detroit, by the way,
I pictured you on a
which
train
was
going down there.
it was interesting. It was really south of Detroit, and it was so much fun to be together in a group of a lot of people who were singing Journey songs at the top of our lungs together and just dancing and having a really, really good time. So that was kind of my
I'm
escape this week.
I'm pretty sure it's impossible to be sad and be singing Journey.
It was so much fun. And, if it's one of your favorite bands, it's like the next best thing to
Yeah.
seeing, yeah, because Journey was a little bit, I think my first album though that I ever had was Escape. I mean, we're talking a long time ago, but they were still a little ahead of my time. I was too young to go to a Journey concert probably. So we'll talk a bit about balancing our time. How do we balance the yin yang, the masculine, feminine energies in our lives? How do we do both? How do we work hard and play hard? How do we or just work and play? How do we find that balance? Do you have things that you do in particular that help you
No,
with that? Or you just kind of
no,
you
I
wing
think
it? You wing it. It's
like
so funny because you're the linear one and I'm the one like I'll set timers.
this is true. That
It's
is
really kind of
crazy.
funny how we flip flop on certain things.
I agree. I agree.
Because as a political person, you are really into a lot of spiritual, you understand the universe has got your back, all that.
Yes.
And as a psychic medium, I'm pretty grounded. I mean, I'm not too
This is true.
woo-hoo,
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty grounded. I'm very disciplined. So it's interesting how where it shows up. So you kind of wing it and you just say, "Oh, I should probably should take that weekend with my friends."
Yeah, my three-legged stool is wobbly, and I've just gotten to the point because I also have ADHD and
Mm, yeah.
things, I can't even think of the word. What is this? I'm doing a hand motion, but you
Uh
can't see it, listeners.
in
Like a
in line,
standard
in order.
repeatable
Okay.
process, a
Uh-huh.
schedule, a routine.
Uh-huh.
I need it, but it's hard for me if it's
Mm,
not you have to go to work and you have to show up and you clock in, or
mhm.
I'm gonna see
Yeah.
this tangible result when I'm done. So to add in an activity like that is hard. I've just had to get really good at going inside and paying attention to when things feel off,
Mhm.
and that's when I know I have to do something, and I have to have these things in my back pocket, whatever these
Mhm.
rituals or tasks are that help me take a break, because I have to be able to pull them out at a moment's notice,
Yeah.
really.
Such a good point because there are different ways to getting the same result. You're checking in with yourself and really paying attention to your needs in that way. This is what I know that I need to do next. I need to work more, or I need to just shut it down right now. For me, and it's interesting because I'll know that I'm a bit of a workaholic and that I will just keep going. So I find setting a timer really helpful. If I'm working a 9-hour day, I'm making sure once that timer's done, I'm giving myself that much time to also replenish or sleep or, whatever comes up to just keep that balance because I don't trust myself sometimes to
Mhm.
know I'll just keep going. I'll just keep working. And I love my work. So it gets great,
Yeah.
right? It's like a gray area. But then I'll realize
I haven't
haven't,
eaten, I
yes,
haven't gone to the
exactly.
bathroom.
Exactly. Those kinds of things. So
I'm really proud of you. That makes me so happy for you that you can do that, and it gives me something to aspire to.
well, I like the way that you're doing it too is really important because it's really checking in not after many hours, but you're feeling it. Like you feel your way through life and you're going, oh, I'm really feeling like I need a break or I need to separate myself from this environment or I need to stop working. And it really is when we do that that a lot of the ideas come in
Yeah.
where the magic happens. So we're talking about different things that you can do, things that you can implement in your life that will help you to remember how important stepping away from trying to find your purpose, trying to figure it out, trying whatever it is, and taking a little break because amazing things happen when we just step back a little bit. You know, I love Einstein. And you would always think of a scientist in terms of like being in a lab, right? But he believed in thought experiments where he would just give himself time to just be, and just to think about things and just kind of wander and think. And he would often have many breakthroughs during that time. So he was working in a patent office once and he came up with the theory of relativity. All of his ideas didn't come in the pushing and the over trying. He trusted the work he was doing when he was working. And when he gave it a little break, sometimes those ideas about purpose and work, they'll come in, but they come in a gentle way, like, hey, what about this? What do you think about that? Want to try this? We need that space for our lives to continue to move forward too. So it's not like you're doing nothing. You can be doing nothing and a lot is happening.
We in this culture that's the whole work hard,
Mhm,
play hard,
mhm.
gotta work 17 hours a day, 20 hours a day. You're always driving,
Right.
and that's not the healthiest way to do it, and it really
It's
stunts
true.
the innovation that could be happening.
And I think it's a very American
Absolutely.
mindset
Yes.
and I think this is why I love going to Europe and to these other countries so much. Do you know?
Yeah, absorbing some of that
Yes.
other way of living.
The cultures are so different in different places. I love cultures with siestas in the middle of the day.
Yes.
And where, the happiest countries, we're looking at Norway, Sweden, the Scandinavian countries. They're working hard, but they also know to relax and really be okay with it.
Yeah, they have a balance
Yeah.
down.
Yeah. So I think it is really an American thing. I'd love to hear from some listeners. We've been noticing that more people are listening from other countries, which was very exciting.
Yes, it's very exciting.
And I would be really curious to hear from people from those other countries what you guys are doing in your downtime. How do you create it? Is it something that's easy for you to do? Because I know in America it's like really hard for us because we're kind of taught in America you don't have enough, you're not enough. Everything's not enough. So do more, be more, be more, do more, be more, do more.
Mhm.
Would you agree?
Yeah. No
It's
mention of the system that's in place that keeps us from getting, but it's just if you want it, you just gotta work hard. Well, if you don't have it, then you haven't worked hard enough. Keep working harder.
right, right. So it would be fun to hear from people in
It would
other
yes.
places to, give us some ideas that we can talk about and share with people. We'd love to hear your stories about what you really do to relax and reset.
Speaking of reset, I do have the luxury of working from home sometimes, and so in the middle of the day, if I'm really stuck, I get in the shower.
Mhm.
I just take a few minutes. I don't know, it's the heat relaxing my body, that the pulse of the water. When you're in the bathroom, you don't expect anybody to bother you and you can just kind of let go and release. So I like a reset shower. I also use them at the end of the day. Guess I'm wasting a lot of water because sometimes I always shower in the morning because it sets me up for the day and I can kind of clear my head and get right with what I need to do immediately in the morning. But if I get to the afternoon and it's just not happening for me and I feel like I'm getting ready to pull out my hair, I'll just hop back in the shower.
I think it's great.
Especially now when it's negative 20
Oh
degrees
my
outside
gosh,
the
it
shower.
feels so good to be in warm water,
Yep,
doesn't it?
it does.
So there is something very healing about that
Mhm.
and very cleansing,
That's why I like to take
right?
a shower at night sometimes, wash away
Yes,
whatever
the
happened during that
day.
day. Yeah,
Yes. You go to sleep feeling
yeah,
refreshed and you wake up feeling refreshed.
yeah,
So do that when you can. Water is very, very healing.
I agree.
And it's also a place when you're in water, it's a place where you just kind of have to be in it. There's
Mhm.
not a lot else you can do. I mean, you could read a book in the bathtub,
That would be
but
nice.
there's not, it's a great place to just
I
be.
just read an article of somebody was I don't remember what the article was about, but the part that I remember was that somebody for Christmas had gotten a waterproof piece of paper, a waterproof notebook and writing utensil because your best ideas typically come when you're in the shower. So
Yes.
you want to have a way to capture them.
It's never wasted time to relax, to escape. And when you have these ideas that come to you, it feels really good when they come in that way,
Yeah.
because the only way they really can come in is when you have created some space for them to come in. And so that's a great idea. I love that. I love that idea. Earlier too, we were both talking about how important it is to meditate or pray or be in nature. I think
Yes.
they're all kind of connected. Just allow yourself to close your eyes and be transported to a still place, or you take a walk through the woods and allow yourself to literally transport and separate yourself from sometimes the chaos of the day,
Yeah.
really, to be in nature.
It's
And
important.
even meditating too.
Yes.
That's good. It's really good. I would say nature might be your cathedral too. And for some people, maybe you're attending church, you're praying in your room, you're meditating at home, you're just walking the dog. Although I don't know how relaxing that is probably for.
Yeah, when you're trying to chase down a canine.
Yeah, I'm trying.
I
Yeah.
don't for meditation, I do I get a lot of pushback when I talk about it because for whatever reason, people only think of meditation one way, but just going not just,
Mhm.
it's not just a just thing, but if you go for a walk, if you
Mhm.
get the opportunity on your lunch break maybe,
Yeah.
not in negative 20-degree weather, but
Mhm.
when it's feeling a little nicer. As long as you're not focused on one thing and you're just paying attention to your surroundings or maybe even just paying attention to, look, I can feel that cold air going in my nose and my belly is then expanding and then oh, I feel it come back out. Oh, it's warm. That is meditating. You
It
don't
is, it's mindfulness, isn't it? It's just
Yes.
being really present with the moment that you're in,
Yeah.
and you're not trying and you're not striving. That's the main thing to remember.
Yeah.
The answers to how how do you counter the yang is about receiving. It's never trying more, it's never pushing, it's never striving, it's never really an expectation, it's really more being and allowing,
Yeah.
right? More than anything else.
That opens up another avenue to be creative. You have to be creative in the way that
Mhm.
you think about meditating. You can also think about being creative in the sense of creating something. I
Yes.
am not a crafty person. I would
Mhm.
love to be a crafty person. I would love to have ideas about interior design. That's not me, but I have found that if I can find a project,
Mhm.
shout out to Geek Brush Studios in Chelsea. They have Bob Ross painting classes. So she's telling me what to create. I just have to go in there and put my spin on it.
Mhm.
That's fun because there's something I'm creating something with my
It's
hands.
about the
That's powerful.
process. It's
Yeah.
not with necessarily the end result in mind.
Hmm.
I would venture to say that most artists growing up with a father in the art world, that you don't always have that final piece in mind. You start with something and you let it take on a life of its own in a way.
I experienced that for the very first time when I did my vision board at the
Uh-huh.
beginning of the year. I've done one a couple of other times and always felt they were lacking. I blamed it on my ability to be creative, but I think I was not clear about what I wanted. This
Mhm.
year, I am very clear about what I want, and it is the most beautiful board I've ever seen.
That's
And I
wonderful.
have it
And you put it
just
together.
yeah, cutting everything out, seeing how things fit together, that was new for me, and it really it opened up something in me that I didn't know was there and filled me up
I love
in
it.
a
I love
very
it.
courageous and inspiring way.
And, I really truly do think that everyone is creative. If you don't think that you are, you just likely haven't met the way
Yes.
that you you are, and the answers will be in these little nudges or little ideas that you have about doing something creative. I grew up with my hands in clay because my dad's a racquet artist and a
Mhm.
potter, and when I was really little, I would make, like, hot dogs and hamburgers, and we'd be at these workshops and things, and then I put them and then I'd end up at the end of the day while I was waiting for him to teach, I'd just throw them in a pile, but I always found myself creating faces and figurative work, which is something that he does not do, because everyone growing up would say, do you do raku? Do you do pottery?" I love his work so much. It originated, in the Japanese tea ceremonies, ancient, right,
Okay.
raku. But for me, I loved creating human form from clay and then working with live models. That's my thing. It takes time. I don't always have a lot of time. I'd like
Mhm.
to make more time. We have to make time for these things,
You do.
these time. But when you don't, listen to the whispers. Take classes in the town that you're in. Just appreciating other people's work can be enough, honestly. Going to a museum, walking around,
Mhm.
enjoying other people's creativity. You all have different gifts.
When you talked about basically the blocks. I think that
Mhm.
goes for meditation and creativity and so many other
Mm.
things in our life.
Mhm.
Just because you're not good at it right now
Mhm.
doesn't mean that it's not for you. You have to try and make mistakes and figure out what it is. If you sit down to meditate the first time and all you can do is think about your grocery list, that doesn't mean that you're bad at it.
Right.
Write the grocery list down and then try it again. Just get that out of your head. Or
Yes,
if you think you're
yes.
bad at painting, maybe try different paints or different scene or
Mhm.
try clay or underwater basket weaving. There are just lots of different
Yeah,
avenues
there
to
are
try.
so many maybe you wanna try it, maybe you don't, but maybe you just really enjoy a certain director's films or,
Right.
something like that. These things are everywhere around us, and it's only in the slowing down that we get to pick up what they're laying down. So I know for me, I love, well, music. And it's been a very, we're in the Midwest, we're in the North. Well, some people say it's the North, but in Michigan, we say the Midwest.
Midwest.
We're pretty far north. It's been a really, really cold winter. We've spent more time inside. It's been icy and windy, and I love it. I mean, bring on the wind. I mean, I love it. I love changing of the seasons, but it's not, if it's 5 below, you can't stay outside for long. So we're spending a bit more time inside. And I've discovered some really interesting shows and film. And there's one that I just wanted to bring up because it's been a great escape this winter. It's called Riot Women, and it is on BritBox. Do you have BritBox? You can get it through Amazon Prime,
I don't, but I'm gonna get it.
and
Told me about this show.
it is really great. So while the snow was falling gently, I took all my different hats off on Sunday afternoon for a bit of Riot Women. It's a UK-based show on BritBox about women who are pre and perimenopausal who start a rock band in West Yorkshire in England. It's fantastic. It's kinda right up my alley, and for those of women across the lands experiencing something like this, it's funny, it's dramatic, it's serious, it's hilarious. It's been a great escape, and I think many would find it really relatable and rediscover all the purposes that we live through. This is a wonderful show. I mean, really,
This
shout
is
out to
also
BritBox and Riot Women.
Totally. This
Mhm.
is also a casting call because now we're gonna start a band full of perimenopausal and
What would you
menopausal
play?
women.
Yeah, I took drum lessons for a year and a half recently, really. Yeah, I played a little guitar in my 20s, but I took drum lessons.
I have
I
been
just
toying with the idea of taking lessons. I've never played an instrument. I sang.
what do you think what you would play
I
if you
always
were in
wanted
a
a rock band.
Yeah.
Probably drums.
Yeah,
I've
drums are
always wanted to play the saxophone.
yeah.
We went to see Wynton Marsalis with the middle school band the other day, and it rocked my world, and, the bass seems
The
like something.
Wynton
Yes,
Marsalis,
the
fantastic.
amazing. People need live music in their lives at
Yes,
least once a week. I don't know
yes,
how to make that work, but
yeah.
the feelings and the energy, it was incredible.
I love that you did that. I love that you did that.
I am very blessed that I got to go.
When I watch Riot Women, I wanna be the singer, but
Yeah, you could do
it's
it.
interesting. The personalities between, like, a drummer and a bass player I've learned working with bands or, like, a singer and the lead guitar, they're very different
They're
kind of
archetypes.
personalities.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a little bit of both, like drummers, I don't know. But
Um,
but it's fantastic. I can't sing,
it's
but
our
I do
band.
it.
We can do whatever we want.
What they That's kinda what they think too. This cast is just wonderful, and I hope a lot of you get to check that out or are finding, great escape in film and some really good film
Mhm.
and television.
They are doing more in those areas to tell our story.
Mhm. Yes.
I
Yeah,
in
that's
the
right.
Right? And that's so important because there's so much around being a woman, whether it's menopause or, the other things that we have to manage in our lives,
Mhm.
that women still don't understand that they're not the only one that struggle with it or that there are resources out there. And on my weekend away, I met 2 new friends,
Mhm.
and they were talking about ailments when I got there, and I could just slide right in. I was like, "Oh, yeah, I got that too." Um, but it was
You're getting older, one.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
"What medication are you
what are you
on?"
guys doing?
Uh, but it was
And then we hit the drum set, and
yes.
then we rock out, so nothing keeps us down.
Like, our music videos are gonna be epic. Im It was so great on many levels, but one of the levels was that we all got to have this conversation, and then we all got to share information that other people didn't know, And so on Monday, I got a text message from one of the girls and she's like, "Oh, is this what you're on? I called my doctor and I gave them my symptoms and they're going to let me try this." And I was like, "Yes, that's what I'm on. I'm so excited for you." So fun. We all shared, we learned something. We were connecting with each other. She advocated for herself we have new friends now. Yeah.
Connecting with others is really important. It's connected to just getting out of your routine a little bit if
Mhm.
it's become too much work and no play, and just showing up and
Yes.
seeing who is there and what is there, and sharing
Mhm.
stories and
Mhm.
sharing
I don't know about you,
information.
but when something happens, there's a list of like 4 people that I'm immediately like, I need to connect with one of those people.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
we need to debrief, we need to dissect this, we need to rage about it together or celebrate. And
Yes.
it's that time, I think, is also connecting with somebody a way that you can take a break from what's going on.
Yes. Yeah, so sometimes it's not always the coworker, right?
Right.
Even though in your work life, it probably is a lot of the day. But yeah, it's the friends outside of that or the friends who have completely different careers, the
Mhm.
friends that you've known for a long time, or even the new friends
Yeah.
that you haven't,
Yep.
and you're connecting with them on some level.
Exactly.
It doesn't have to be social with like 100 people. If you have one or two really great people
Mhm.
that are your go-to people that you can tell anything to.
Mm.
When I showed up at your house the other day and I was telling one of my friends, well, now I'm just going to tell the world. So I made a pot of coffee and I really needed some coffee in the afternoon. Oh my God. And this is not very classy. I remember when I would tell my daughter, class, not ass. Like, you're not wearing that to school. And then what did I do the other day alone in my house? I couldn't find my coffee cup. So I just picked up the whole coffee maker and just like drank it. I just need it. I'm running out the door. Who
Mhm.
cares?
No, I see that as being really smart and logical.
Thanks, Kate.
You needed coffee. Why even waste? Even if you could find the cup, that's just something else to wash.
I don't know what. It just felt a little rebellious. But it was a little like, this is my space, my house, my kitchen. I'm gonna do whatever I want.
Stand in your
It was a
power.
little bit just I had a moment. That's all it was. But yes, connecting is so important. And yeah, I was on my way to Pilates too. So this leads us to another thing that can be really, really helpful for you when you're looking for a way to decompress, recharge, is to just get physical. My mind first goes to one thing, but we
Mhm.
won't talk about
That's a whole
that
other
first
podcast.
thing.
Physical stuff you can do on your
Right, my mind
own.
yeah, but yeah, Pilates Pilates or, whatever that is for you, stretching, just getting physical.
Yeah.
Let's get physical, physical.
Dancing.
Da-na-na-na. Yeah, ABBA
Yeah.
all day.
Anything that makes you move your limbs.
Yes, dance my daughter, when she was growing up, every day, I was just in the middle of our day, "Honey, let's have a dance break."
I love that.
So take dance breaks
Mhm.
with your children, take dance breaks with your husband, take
Mhm.
dance breaks with your friends, take dance breaks with your badass self
Yes.
as often as possible.
I totally agree.
These are not things that they would list in an article about recharging in Time magazine,
No, but
by the
maybe
way.
now they will, and they'll cite us. Time Magazine, if you would like to do an interview, you can reach us on our podcast page and send us a message, livingwithpurposepod@gmail.com.
So yeah, it's really important. Just like, get physical, get your body moving. It'll get your brain moving. New ideas will come to you. And also, just to be in that space of just being really present with your physical body, especially if you're someone who you're really strong in your mental body. And I've always been strong in my spiritual, emotional body and mental, but less so in the physical. So for me, that's something I really need to be conscious of just making time to do. Once I do it, I feel really great, but it's not the easiest thing to
Yeah,
get to get started,
yeah,
right?
that is true.
So, yeah.
So that brings up for me, you're not only changing your physical self, but you're changing where you're at in your head, and you can also change where you're at with your body. Like
Mhm.
my job, I used to work in an office, and a lot of times I was the only one there.
Mhm.
Um, and it would get lonely and I would get sad or I would get stuck and I would just need something, someone else to be around. I didn't even have to talk to people. I just
Mhm.
wanted to be around other people. And I think that's where my love of going out to lunch came from because that was sometimes the only other interaction I would get with human beings until I would get home at the end of the day. So whether it's just leaving the room that you're in or leaving the city that you're in. Maybe
Yeah.
you take a drive.
My gosh, I lived in Tennessee for a little while, and it is so beautiful. Tennessee is so beautiful, and we would just get in the truck and drive, and drive, and drive, and drive, and laugh and listen to music, and drive through these rolling hills and to the most beautiful places. Just see where we would end up.
Yep.
I think it was Alabama one day that we ended up at a Muscle Shoals studio, though.
Oh my god, I
Yeah.
was just hearing about that
You
yesterday on
were?
NPR. Yes,
Really?
yeah.
Oh my gosh, amazing, amazing people worked
Definitely,
there.
definitely look that up, listeners. That's
Yeah.
some incredible music.
Oh, amazing. I mean, Leonard Skinner recorded there. I worked with Ricky Medlock, who was in Blackfoot, because my first job out of college was managing merchandise for that rock band. So I was just reading an article a friend had just sent about him recording there, but also the Rolling Stones have recorded there. I mean, you just find these amazing places
Mhm.
when you don't have a plan.
Yeah.
Just get in the car and go. Have a change of scenery. These things happen
Mhm.
when you least expect it.
Yep.
The places and people that you can come across and the delight that you can have on the journey,
Yes.
worth its weight in gold. Yeah?
Important point there is enjoy the journey. Like, we get
Enjoy
so
the
focused
journey.
on the end result, but it's the
Mhm.
journey.
And without trying to enjoy it. Even when it comes to joy, like, we're talking about really an escape, really a recharge, really a not
Mm,
trying, just doing,
yep.
going up and seeing where life takes you.
Mhm.
I really do believe that the best things happen when we're in that state, even during our work days as
Yeah.
much as we can. But there are deadlines and guidelines
Mhm.
and all these things that kind of get in the way of that. So you can do that and just do the best you can. The other thing that I mean, not everyone is into this, but I've journaled since I was in third grade. I have journals from like third
Wow!
grade. Yes,
That's
I
impressive.
know. It can be kind of fun too. In LA, they used to have these poetry readings at bookstores, but then they would have these nights where people brought their journals from when they were a teenager or a child and then read them as adults. It was the most dramatic thing I've ever seen. And the funniest thing, and sometimes the saddest thing. But anyway, when you journal and you just look back on where you
Mhm.
sometimes, or you're just in the present moment journaling, it can be really cathartic.
Yeah.
It's a place where you can dump whatever emotionally you've been carrying around.
Mhm.
And it can feel, and I always notice that I journaled when something really great happened or when something really kind of tragic happened. So I know anybody who look at my journals probably think I'm totally crazy. You do that, those are usually the times where you just need a place to put it. If you don't have somebody else to talk to
Yeah.
at that time, or you don't want to talk about something that's that private to you, journal, write it down. You can burn it later or you can keep it and reflect and see how far you've come. See the progress in your own life,
Mhm.
how you problem solve something, how it just worked out anyway,
Yeah.
how the universe or God did have your back and you didn't even know, but in that moment you were so worried.
Yeah.
And you can see you can get through difficult times
Mhm.
too. So that's another way to recharge because you're letting go, you're releasing to the paper what is no longer serving you.
Pen and paper brings up an interesting point. There's a lot of talk about technology. So,
Uh,
obviously, we will mention that taking a break from technology is also good for your mental health and for creating some space for things to come in. But the caveat there is that all of my meditation apps are on my phone.
are part of your technology. It's part of our world now. A lot of the apps that can help us to calm, to
So,
meditate, even prayer apps.
yeah, there's lots of things, which is overwhelming and probably a whole episode on its own, but there are times for you to step away, and phones now have things on them so you can set limits and only open apps at certain times.
Mhm.
Hopefully make it easier for you if you do need to use something like that on your phone, like Calm or Headspace, because at this point, we wanna give you all the tools that there are, and then it's your job, listeners, to figure out which thing works best for you, so it will take some work on your part.
It does take a certain discipline, right?
Yeah.
First, just give yourself permission to do it. That's
Mhm.
one of the hardest things to do. Like the person that wrote in, I feel guilty when I give myself the time. I think we have, for the most part, is what we've been socialized this way for a really long time. But now we're realizing, and science is realizing too, the benefit of
Yeah.
not going full tilt
Yeah.
all the time.
Agreed.
So it feels really good in your body when you take a break. It could be really different for different people. It doesn't have to be for everyone that you wait until 5 o'clock. If you can take a break in the middle of the day or if you work from home and you can go see a movie, like
Mhm.
really separate to an actual movie theater or
Yeah.
something for matinee and then come back and get back to the work. Work's going to be better because you have been replenished and you'll be happier doing the work that you do. It is important time.
I love that you said happy because the other thing I thought about, this is you do feel really awkward, uncomfortable at first, but laugh therapy,
Mm.
I will admit that I do this sometimes where you can look at it a couple different ways, right? Like you do the thing where you have to make yourself laugh, even though there's nothing funny in the room. You're just laughing by yourself, maybe in your car at lunch. Nobody knows outside your car that you're not listening to a podcast or something or talking to a friend, but you just start laughing and eventually you keep doing it and it becomes genuine. And then you release endorphins and
Yeah.
there's dopamine, all the good feelings. And again, it's just another
There really is a lot
break.
to laugh
Yeah.
about. I mean, life can be so absurd that
Hmm.
instead of getting stressed out, sometimes you can just kind of look over and think, this is a madhouse. This is a crazy time.
Mm.
And just be able to laugh at the ridiculousness of things at times. It's not that we don't have we've got the taking it seriously down, right?
Yes.
Like,
A
is my
plus.
point. Like, we've got that down, and it is important to take things in life seriously, but you do have to have those moments where
Stop the smell the roses.
oh, another thing I will admit that I do to make myself laugh, if I can't sleep or if I just need to laugh.
Yeah.
'Cause my daughter is overseas right now. Sometimes I really wanna make her laugh or a friend laugh. I'll just go on Snapchat with those
Uh,
filters that are too much fun, and I like to make the best of it,
yeah.
like, to take create certain emotions. So if she's written me something and I'm so excited, I'm like I'll make myself like a 1980s mom. "Oh my god, that is just the greatest thing I've ever heard, honey." Like, you can create these things in Snapchat
Yeah.
or like an angry cat, like, I did not like what you just said, I do not know what you're talking about." Like, I prepare my Snapchats in advance. Some of them are a little, like, sexy cat, like, "Hi." You know? It's fun to do that's how I make myself laugh. I sit there and just make myself laugh, and I save the good ones, and I send them to her. Have I ever sent one to you? Like, I'll
No,
send them to friends and I'll yeah, sometimes family, just to let them know how I'm feeling about something.
I love it. Finding stuff that is not going to be on a list is why we have this podcast so we can share it.
Ideas with Kate and Wendy.
I I don't the girls do Snapchat. I have it on my phone for them so they can send them to my sisters and my mom, but that's about it. But there are some that are pretty funny. I prefer to sit and watch a Netflix
Mhm.
stand-up comedian.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Who's your favorite? Do you have a favorite comedian?
God, I hope I don't butcher it. Nate Bargatze.
Oh, okay.
He's
Wait, sounds
big dumb
familiar.
eyes guy.
I think I would know him if I saw
Yeah,
him.
you would. Yeah. He's my favorite right now.
I think there's so much great stand-up on Netflix. Dave Chappelle,
Oh, we just watched that one. Yeah.
hilarious. I love you. I love you, Dave, in Ohio. It's
We're
not
so
that far
close.
from us. Hi. I love him, and I love Kathleen Madigan.
Yes.
She is hilarious. Just the funniest. Eliza
Yes.
something.
The party goblin.
Eliza Schlesinger. Hilarious. And Kathleen Madigan, she's fantastic. You don't really wanna put an age limit on who's gonna think these things are funny, but do you know?
Sometimes you
But
have to have some lived experience in
yeah,
order to
yeah, yeah.
appreciate
I
some of
think
them.
Kathleen Madigan's probably for, some people who've experienced a little bit are a little bit older. But you can start with Eliza and just segue right into Kathleen as you go. That'll be a lot of laughs that day.
Yes. If you can get together with some girlfriends and all watch it together, then
Yes.
you're laughing, you're connecting. 6 things from this list that we've talked about.
My friend Sarah and I took a trip to Maine once. We were right on the water, and we were renting this little Airbnb, and we watched Eliza Schlesinger. We were in stitches. And then it brought about conversation about what she was saying. It led us to conversation about important things that we've experienced so that were going on in our lives too. So, yeah,
She's
one
doing the
good
Lord's
thing
work.
she is. I hope we all are.
So in our own way. It's gonna take the collective.
How do we stick with these things?
Right. We've
Do you
given you a
know?
lot to work with.
These are just some of our ideas, some of the things that have worked for us. But how do you stick to taking a break from the overdoing, taking a break from the trying, to find your purpose, to do all the things that you need to do. And I think first you have to see it as an investment
Mhm.
in yourself, that your downtime is actually an investment. I mean, not if it's all the time, because some people, their downtime is 80, 90, and
Mhm.
their work time is 10. Okay. I don't know that kind of a world, but,
Somebody
you
says it
know,
exists.
I'm sure it does for some people, but I would think most people are always wanting to learn and be engaged and be doing and striving toward purposefulness. That's really our audience.
Yes.
We start a podcast like Slacker 101. That would be the
We
opposite.
would fail
We would
miserably.
fail at that. We don't know that. We're going to just share here with you what we know. And another
Uh,
thing that you might do once you know that this is truly an investment that you're making in yourself.
then you can be planning ahead. I think I said this before. I have to know what these things are and be able to just pull them out at a moment's notice. So I did have to do the work to find which of these things works best for me. And then I know if it's the middle of the day, okay, I go in to my office, I close the door and I put on a song, have my 30-second dance party.
Uh,
Or if I happen to be at home alone, I can do something more intense, like do a meditation. So knowing ahead of time, or if I know it's gonna be a stressful day, then I will plan, okay, I need to have lunch,
uh,
plan 30 minutes for lunch, and then tack on an extra 15 minutes so that I can do whatever it is I need to do to get right with myself for the rest of the day. So
Perfect.
if you're
Perfect.
that's some accountability, you're building it in.
Yeah, you do need a certain amount of discipline even when it's for the unplanned at times, because if you don't create that, it's not likely anybody around you is going to be doing
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
for you. So it's important to have the discipline and to plan it. I call it my Aphrodite time.
Ooh, I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I learned that in a seminar that Marianne Williamson gave,
I'm gonna write that down.
actually, about love, a few years back. But I call it my Aphrodite time, and that is just letting the woes of the day go, segueing into through some of the things we've talked about today, being in the feminine and relaxing and receiving and leaning back
Mhm.
and allowing. So, yeah, yeah, I will shut it down when I can when there's
Excited
something.
to put time blocks in my Outlook calendar
Mm,
that say Aphrodite time, and
yes,
for
do
people to
it.
then try to schedule meetings and be like, "What is she doing?"
I have a date with Aphrodite.
This is gonna
So,
bring about a lot of office conversation, and I'm excited for that.
I think there's something, I just want to say, there's something about silent power here.
Mm,
My experience, if I say that, people don't take my recharge time
seriously,
seriously.
it's a good point.
And it actually is a serious thing.
Absolutely.
And so I would not tell everybody that's your downtime, because there are people that know if it's your
Oh, that's
downtime.
when they'll come knock.
They don't, yep, that's when
Yep.
they come knocking. And so
Maybe I won't
bring
miss it.
into some silent power, perhaps, or just say you have an appointment with self.
Uh,
So,
I think the one maybe last piece to leave you with today is you're going to do all this work. You're going to figure out which method works for you and when, and you're going to have set aside time in your calendar. And you're going to successfully have completed one of these tasks, and you're going to feel great afterwards, and you're going to feel energized. And you have to be prepared for what it's going to be like to go back into the workplace in this new headspace. I think that's one thing that we fail to talk about is there's a lot of talk about all the work beforehand, but
mm,
nobody talks about
mhm.
afterwards.
It even takes a certain discipline to stay a bit refreshed and not let things pull you off
Mhm,
that track too much. Like, you've got this,
mhm.
and there will be people around you going through all kinds of different things, and it's really up to you to say, I want to stay in the joy of seeing what this day brings and allowing it, and bring with me out all the things like I had recharging, as much as possible. And there will be times where, you have to divert and you're going to be working really hard. If you're doing something purposeful and looking for your purpose, you get back, you plan the next recharge
I'm
time.
gonna start making that part of my time. So I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
do the
Yeah.
thing, I'm gonna be recharged, and before I open that door again, I've got the next one on my calendar.
They say that one of the greatest routes to happiness is having something to look forward to, something you've planned to look forward to. I love that.
Mine's the
If-
fall of the patriarchy.
Yeah. Yes. Just high fives. It's happening. Things are turning. This is an interesting time, and it feels wrong.
That's why we're working. Yeah. Well, we
We're
are.
gonna figure out how to work together, all those.
Yeah, and that's all part of this journey, right? Because it takes the collective. So we each have to be right within ourselves in order to contribute to the greater good,
Mhm.
for the highest good for all.
Yes.
And we will continue to bring you our wonderful insights and the tools and the resources that you can use, listener, so that you feel like you're on a good path. We are excited to see you again when we meet for our next Living with Purpose podcast. But until then, take a break,
Recharge.
enjoy some joy
Be silly.
and 30-second dance parties. Laugh it out. We will be laughing right along with you.
Yeah, we're right there with you. Thanks
Uh,
for listening.
so good to see you, Wendy.
You
Bye,
too.
everybody.
Thank you for listening today.
Please be sure to like, follow, or subscribe to the Living with Purpose podcast.
And help us and someone you know by sharing today's episode.